Welcome to MKUSUal. It's like MK Ultra, but more normal.
Yes, sir. I got a new crush, Nick. Her name is Representative Anna Paulina Luna. I don't know anything about her politics. She is a congresswoman.
Is she from the moon?
That's a good question. I don't know. She is leading up the task force on declassification and transparency. I'm going to show you a short little video of her explaining what her job is for the next year or so.
We'll be conducting investigations into the following: the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and Dr. Martin Luther King, unidentified aerial phenomena, also known as UAPs, unidentified submerged objects, also known as USOs, the EPSTEIN client list, the origins of COVID-19, and the 9/11 files.
Yeah, dude, it's about to get real. If you believe such a thing is possible.
In no particular order.
No. 9/11 threw me for a loop.
Yeah, that's same.
That's a big one. I almost wonder if they're not giving her too big of a task.
Well, she's got 4 years.
Epstein. That threw me for a loop as well.
Yeah.
It's part of my crush on her. I love that she made a distinction between UAP and USOs.
Yep.
I don't remember who coined USO. It might have been Nick Pope. But we all know UFOs come from under the water. She's separating them out.
USOs?
Yeah, USOs. Well, whatever. UFOs. The old term. Now we have UAP and USO. We know the aliens live under the water. They're playing water sports.
Quick question. If we get full disclosure on all of those things, and let's say 80% of the questions answered, would this president deserve a third term?
That's a good question.
If it were anybody, it doesn't matter. But just
right.
Let's say any president could do that and did.
Blows the lid off 9/11, Epstein, UFOs, Martin Luther King, JFK. I mean, yowzer, dude.
And everybody gets locked up or the appropriate punishment.
Right, there has to be punishments. You can't come out and be like, it was a lone gunman.
And then you pardon them all on your last day.
Epstein acted alone, yeah.
To save your own life. Yeah, like
9/11 was not an inside job. UAP don't exist. That would be very disappointing. I want to show you a picture of her.
Oh, yeah. She's very attractive.
Come on.
She's on the cover of Maxim.
Come on. I mean, dear God. That doesn't belong in Congress.
She's objectively a beautiful woman. Not even like a beautiful congresswoman.
She's objectively a beautiful woman, and she's going to tell me the truth about UFOs. She's probably married. A girl like that can't get with a guy like us, Nick.
No, she's a congresswoman.
I'm saving all these images to my computer for the show.
Mm-hmm. That's what he calls it.
I mean, yikes.
He's always like, hey, do you want to come watch the show?
The show.
Dude, I'll save that one. Oh,
yeah, that one goes in. All right, so that one goes in the show bank. So, all right, so, this is just a little bumper. This isn't a Tinfoil Friday. This isn't a long one. What do you think of those stories? Let's just say UFOs, 9/11, Epstein, and the assassinations. What would be the biggest revelation if they get to the bottom of it?
Oh, I gotta go with 9/11 because that I watched in real time.
Yeah.
And it was very traumatic, and I need resolution from that the most. Okay. I knew so many people who got sent overseas, and some of them didn't come back, or they had horrible lives after because of that event, not to mention the event itself. And it's been this, to me, just wildly easy lie to see through for 20 some years, and still is just, people can't. If it's an inside job, it's an unfathomable act of depravity, and I need resolution.
Okay, you know what? I think that's a respectable choice. I'm gonna go UFO just because that's like a Earth history shattering thing, but I actually think you're probably right. I think you're probably right, because that would be our government doing it themselves. That's the biggest. That would be the bigger conspiracy, that they're just like outright killing us.
Because to me, that would be like, well, if they do that first, then I know if I can trust the government or not. When they tell me who killed JFK, where the UAPs come from, who was on the client list. If it's like, I need to know that first before. That will restore my faith in the government.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
That's
all right. Well, a lot of people are skeptical. I myself am skeptical that they could just turn on a dime like this. Some good news related to this. Earlier this week, the FBI found 2,400 new records from the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
That gives me hope, because one, that is a crazy amount of files to misplace related to one of the most important events in American history. But the fact that they found them, it's kind of similar to our video about the searches for offshore banks and how do I get a defense lawyer.
Yeah.
Somebody thinks there's going to be consequences if they don't go along with this.
Yes.
That's why they found them, is because it's time.
The explanation I heard was that they were just recently digitized and therefore searchable. So now that they're looking for the documents, it's like, they saw it looking in the rear view. Like, I don't know how to say that, but it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you find him
That's the official
week after he signs this freaking order that it's all supposed to
yeah.
come out. If it turns out that the CIA killed JFK, that's pretty close to 9/11, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because you murdered the
Same.
democratically elected leader of the country.
Yeah. Of your own country.
Now, let's say Epstein, it's wild speculation, is part of a foreign government counter-intel honeypot operation that has all our big CEOs and politicians committing heinous acts on video.
Essentially a foreign government or entity.
One that will not be named.
Subverting our country
Yes.
through the manipulation of our leaders of government and industry and entertainment and blah, 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 blah.
How many bombs would have been dropped based on that? How many weapons deals? What small strips of land in the Middle East might have been carpet bombed?
Who stands to benefit and to what degree? Yeah.
I mean, that's a big one too. I just again, near wrapping this up, I just want to state that this is a tall order for any one committee, even Congress. I mean, that's a lot of subjects for one person to be in charge of, essentially, even though she's going to have help.
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, with technology and like AI and things like this, it could be used for some good in this context. Aggregating data,
Yeah.
just compiling a case and making it easily accessible.
Now, here's something they've said for years in UFO circles. It's always been kind of a rumor. What if a lot of this stuff just isn't written down? What if, if you're the type of people that would do 9/11 or kill a president or honeypot people, What if you just are smart enough, or you have a close enough cabal that you just don't write it down? What if it all ends up being a big question mark? You don't even know who's like running the country, basically. Because I think that's entirely possible.
So you're saying it's like a you're saying like it's a big improv group.
It's an oral tradition. They call they say there's areas of the government where UFOs are an oral tradition. They refuse to put the shit they know on paper. They do not write a memo about it. They tell who needs to know out loud, and that's the only record of it. I don't see why something like the assassination of Kennedy wouldn't be the same.
Right. Well, there was what's her name? The lady. She was like a secretary of.
Werner von Braun.
No. FDR? No. Who's the four? Or no, God damn it. Lyndon B. Johnson.
Okay, yeah.
He was his secretary, and she was like, she heard a lot of this stuff being discussed in rooms, but yeah, you wouldn't need to write it down.
Not if you're the right people.
And you put it all in, compartmentalize it. You're going to be in this place. You find the fucking shooter. You find the fucking security detail that's on board with this. And that's your only job. And if you get your job done, you have to trust that everyone else will. And yeah, to pull any of this shit off, it would take an incredible amount of trust.
Correct.
Without a written record, it would make perfect sense that you wouldn't leave a paper trail if you're going to commit the most heinous crimes of all time. Right.
And I feel like if that smoking gun was there, a lot of stuff probably would have leaked. I don't know. I'm hopeful. I think my girl Luna, give me a call, Luna. Let me know the truth. I just hope there's results. Like, I hope that at the very least, the JFK stuff comes out like this summer. Yeah. I have to imagine. Just do a WikiLeaks type thing. Scrub all the very, very most sensitive stuff if you have to. Just drop the whole shit on the internet. Let people go through it. Please, the longer you take, the less we are going to trust you. Mm-hmm. Just get it done. We all want to know. Maybe that's why they're doing it all.
Maybe to flood the...
Maybe it's like, hey, this guy was killed 60 years ago by the CIA. And then they just kind of see what happens, see how the media reacts, see if there's any protests. And then a couple years later, they're like, there might be something up with 9/11. But a lot of those people are dead. Dick Cheney's dead. You know what I mean? Like, a couple years later, it turns out all the people in Congress a few years ago were on the Epstein client list, but a lot of those people are dead.
Yeah. I will not believe in the rule of law or justice or anything if I don't see it happen in my lifetime while they're alive.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm losing faith in even those things, and... I need this.
I really need this.
I need this as bad as you need Luna.
Don't give us blue balls, Luna.
To crush your head like a watermelon between her thighs.
All right, like and subscribe.
Politically speaking.
Politically speaking.
Thug Life Certified.